Tell me a little bit about the company. Where did it all start?
Prepaidmeters.co started when I was buying property in the CBD of Joburg. And I didn't really have a mortgage problem, but if people left, they would be left with electricity bills, and I needed something to manage my utilities and also to provide some type of risk protection for myself. And once I'd got that right, I realized I couldn't be the only person with this problem, and I started to put it out as a business, and very soon I had customers, and we built the business from there. Formally, we were formed in 2003, and we registered as a licensee of the STS Association, and so we've really become part of that industry. But our core focus has always been only to focus on sub-metering, which is anything that is behind a municipal or Eskom bulk supply. We're not about changing the bulk supply. Our customers are typically landlords and property managers who have got more than one tenant living on a property, all drawing their power through a single metered bulk supply. And that's where we've gone from then. We still do that today.
You don't manufacture the units yourself. Where do you get them?
No, we don't manufacture the meters. I mentioned the STS Association. We're a licensee member of the STS Association, which for historical purposes is a standard. It's an IEC standard that was defined with the help of Eskom in 1994. And as a result, it's very widely supported in South Africa and 23 other countries. There's a lot of meter manufacturers who can build meters. We've got American manufacturers, a lot of South African manufacturers because it's South African technology, and our Chinese manufacturers as well. So we can very easily buy in that equipment and utilize that equipment, and it's exactly the same equipment that the municipalities would use. So it's SABS approved and meets all the right conditions and requirements. It's just been repurposed for sub-metering purposes, not for the municipal use.
What will the advantages be for a farmer, for instance?
The farmer's first thing is a problem of how to reduce consumption. His farm labourers typically live on the farm. They've got electricity and water in their accommodation, and all of those accommodation units are drawing their power through the farmer's bulk supply connections. When farmers have so many people, the likelihood is many people are going to leave their lights on, do things like leave 2-plate hot stoves burning all night or in the mornings to heat up the rooms, and that builds up quite a hectic bill for the farmer. And the farmer is trying to reduce his operational costs. By installing a prepaid sub-meter, what will happen is the consumer's behavior will change. He'll realize he's only got so many units, and he's got to try to work within those units. So the consumer behavioral change normally brings about a 20 to 30% drop in the demand that he gets, which is a cheaper Eskom bill at the end of the month for the farmer.
What will a typical meter cost a farmer, for instance?
There's a variety of different types of meters. Most commonplace in a farm is to use single-phase meters. Those meters can start at 659. If you want to go, that's an integrated keypad and wall-mounted unit that fits inside on a DB board. You can also get a split meter, which is where the metering part and the keypad are two separate objects. The meters are installed centrally so that nobody can bypass them, and that preserves the integrity of the metering system, obviously. And all the consumer has is a keypad inside his unit. He can see how many kilowatts he's got, and you can obviously load new tokens in order to top up again. That meter there retails for a single unit at about 1,200. The prepaid meter isn't a smart meter. It really provides a situation like a prepaid cell phone. You can't see who's using what airtime on a prepaid cell phone, but you definitely, if you've ever had a contract cell phone and then you've got a prepaid cell phone, you suddenly find, gee, I'm making the same amount of calls, but I just seem to be using less. And it's not because prepaid airtime is more cost effective or more expensive. It's actually in the consumer behavioral change. And a lot of people ask, can I get cheaper electricity if I go to prepaid? And that's not true. The change comes because suddenly, for the first time, you've got a crystal display in your hand, and you can see what's happening, and you're also forced to top up from time to time. And what you're trying to do is extend the length of time that you need to top up, because it might be inconvenient to constantly go and top up instead of getting a bill. But if you go postpaid, you only get a bill at the end of the month, and you hope, when was the last time you went and read your meter at your house?
Never.
You never do. Exactly. And for a farmer, that's even worse. He's got to go right the way outside his property almost. You can't really see who's using what, but the overall consumer behavior change has a dramatic benefit. It reduces demand and gives better control. And our obviously some of the farmers are very big. They have several hundred staff living on the property. They need to do something about reducing that. Their operational costs are climbing every time the electricity price goes up. And what we've done is we've developed solutions around the farmer that suit his needs. He can't have 300 people at the beginning of every month in a queue waiting to top up. So, for example, we would agree with the farmer that each employee would get, say, 150 rands worth of electricity. That would be on what's called a virtual wallet on the meter account. And most of the farm workers do have a cell phone, and they would just send an SMS to the system beginning of the month, get a token, and they put that token in the meter. Now, obviously, let's say he's got 150 rands worth of electricity. He'll try to use that sparingly because he knows if he uses it, next thing in the middle of the month, he's run out, he's got to go to the management office. And he doesn't want to go to the management office and buy with his own cash. So there's various different ways to skin that cat. But the overall result from our clients who are farmers is very positive in that result. It's obviously difficult for farmers. They're remotely located and they don't have the conveniences we have here in suburbia. So in that case, their employees can't just go to the BP, Sasol, Spar, Engine and top up. Our solution has been customized and tailored around their needs. And it's our own system. We develop it ourselves. It's not a system that we're piggybacking on top of. So with all of our customers, in fact, not just our farmers, we're able to tailor and customize a solution around their specific needs, which makes the application or the management application fit very closely to the way their business processes work to be able to help them achieve their aims.
So will you, in practice, go to a farm and suggest something for the farmer? Do you install the meters yourself?
We can do that.
It's easy for a farmer to do it himself.
Well, typically a farmer would normally have an electrical contractor who's on site, and he's normally a certified electrician anyway, because they have occupational health and safety concerns and things like most big businesses do. And it's fine for their electrician to do the installation. It's not a problem. Typically, on a farm, they would want some introduction. They would want to understand. So yes, we would facilitate going onto the site, looking at their installation, making recommendations, explaining how the system works, questioning them about their business and how they would like it to work. What is their goals? What do they want to achieve? And then see if we can see any problems or any things that we can overcome for them. Once that's done, we can go onto the farm and actually introduce the concept and the processes of top up, getting new electricity to farm workers if they want us to. However, we generally find that management would normally explain to the foremans, and the foremans would explain. And because prepayment is already very well understood in South Africa, you generally find that they've got an idea anyway, and they're very positive towards it. They see it as a move towards improving operational effectiveness, and obviously doing that creates a sustainable company and a sustainable workforce, which is all part and parcel of everyone thinking, well, we don't want load shedding, so everyone looks to reduce electricity if they can.